Hi, today on This Ain't No Buffet, we are cooking brandied apples and seared halibut with fingerling potato prosciutto hash with a butter corn sauce. We'll also be learning some interesting cooking techniques, so stick around for This Ain't No Buffet from Las Vegas. Welcome to This Ain't No Buffet. I'm Chef Claude Lambert, chef instructor here at UNLV.
And I'm Anna Hagelman of the Hank Greenspun School of Journalism and Media Studies. Today I'll be Chef Lambert's assistant. For many years, Las Vegas was known as the buffet capital of the world.
But today Las Vegas is home to a number of fine restaurants and talented chefs, many of whom you'll meet on our show.
Like our guest, Claude is a professional chef, but I'm not. So throughout the show, I'll be asking questions that you might have at home. We're very excited, and we have a great show planned today. Our guest will be Chef Vic Vegas from Addiction, and he'll be preparing seared halibut, fingerling potatoes, prosciutto hash with a butter corn sauce. But before we get started, I understand that we're going to be making brandied apples.
Yes, we are.
Sounds good.
We're going to have to rush this because we have a great show coming up.
All right.
I've got some orange juice being reduced right now, and I got some butter heating up.
Okay.
In the orange juice, I'm going to put a cinnamon stick.
And that's just regular orange juice?
Just regular orange juice.
All right.
And we're going to put in just a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
Just get it slightly tart.
All right.
And then I've got dried orange peel.
Oh, wow. Now, where would you find something like that?
You can find it, maybe not quite like this. This is here I got from an Asian grocery store.
Oh, okay.
But you can find it in some grocery stores in the regular spice section.
Okay.
Where you find spices and so on, but they might be really chopped
A
up
little
small.
smaller, yeah.
Okay, in the butter here, we want to start our apples. So we're going to saute some nice hard apples.
And
All right,
those
that's
are just
important.
Any particular type of apple works good for that?
As long as they're hard. You don't
Okay.
want something soft.
All right.
Granny Smith are great, but just I don't want to say any particular apple, just for the fact that we got to cook them. We got to saute them, get them hot, and then we're going to add some sugar, and then we're going to flame them.
Okay.
And if we got them softer, turn to mush, and you have applesauce.
Right, which wouldn't be very good.
Okay, we've got this reducing, and inside the apples, I'm going to add some raisins.
Okay. So you sauteed the raisins as well.
Yes, I'm going to
Okay.
plump them up.
And when you saute it, it just adds more juice or kind of gets the flavor?
The butter will take care of it.
Okay.
We let the butter take care of it. You'll get some juice from the apples. And when I was taking them out of the bowl over there, I had the apples in lemon juice and a little bit of plain sugar,
Okay.
because otherwise they'll turn brown. And the apple juice and the sugar just kind of helps coat it, so keep a little air off of it.
Okay. And I noticed that you did peel the apples, so there's no skin on them.
No, but I've seen people do it with the skin on.
Okay.
Because they want something colorful, they'll leave the green skin on and some red, and it all depends upon what kind of apple they have.
Okay, so it's kind of a preference thing if you like
Sure.
the skin on. All right.
Okay, now we're going to sugar up twice.
Okay.
We're going to put some brown sugar in here.
And about how much? A tablespoon?
A couple tablespoons.
All right.
I'll pinch yours. Got a sweet tooth?
I have a major sweet tooth, so the more
Okay.
sugar, the better.
Okay, so we're fine there. And before I put any sugar in here, I want to put a little bit of Grand Marnier.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Because I'll get enough orange flavor from the orange juice.
Okay. So that's
Then I
just
want-
enough to fill the bottom of the pan for that.
Yeah. And then some brandy.
That was just
And
a
then
splash.
you got to be careful because it'll catch on fire. What's happening is the alcohol is burning off.
Oh, okay.
And now we'll take a little cinnamon here. Now I could take the cinnamon stick, put it on a grater and put it over here and have it all coming down so you'd have the show in the dining room. So we're see how it sparks up
Ooh.
like this.
That's pretty.
That's for part of the
Oh,
show
look
in
at
the
that.
dining room, all right? Okay, so we're gonna let that cook and we need some more brown sugar.
Right, and just another tablespoon or two in that.
Ah, yeah, lots of sugar.
All right.
Okay, and then in the meantime, we'll let that thicken. It'll just thicken on its own.
Okay.
Still a couple flames coming up over here yet.
Well, it smells good. That cinnamon is really aromatic.
The sugar is now basically got it all nice and thick. You can see how it thickened it all up. So I'm going to trade places with the syrup over here. We're
So
ready to put that.
this was the orange juice before.
This
and
is the
that's
orange juice before, yeah.
Definitely got a syrupy look to it.
But we're going to do and make it, give it some real mouth. So we're going to put some butter in there.
Awesome. So about how much butter would you say goes in there?
A tablespoon.
All right.
And we're going to stir that around. Now, while I'm stirring this in, you want to go ahead and grab a bowl of ice cream out of the freezer?
Definitely.
Okay. Now, you want to stir this in. You just don't want to throw the butter just on it, because if you do that, the butter will melt and just separate. But if you stir it in between the thickness of the syrup from the sugar and so on, the oils, the fat basically from the butter will suspend.
Okay.
Okay? Now you can do this one of two ways. You can sit there and put this on last, or you can put the other one on last. It doesn't make any difference. But they're both done. So we'll take a spoon here.
All right. Looks delicious.
We'll put that around the apples, or excuse me, around the ice cream. Just like that.
Okay. And those raisins do look a little more plump after being cooked.
Let's put a little of this sauce in the middle. Okay. Then we're going to take this sauce. We don't want it to peel or anything, but we just want to get this nice buttery orange flavor. That'd be something similar to having crepe Suzette.
Okay. And this is definitely a very Christmas-inspired dish right here.
Sure, and it's nice and healthy.
Exactly.
You go ahead and want to take a little that
right.
orange here and grate a little orange on top.
Oh, perfect. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Just a little. There you go. Just a little bit of rind on top. That's all you want.
Okay.
You might have to put a little force on there.
Am I doing it the right way? All right.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. And that's just going to add a little more orange taste.
And you just want
Right.
you just want the orange part. You don't want any of the pith in
Perfect.
here because it's too bitter.
All right. Well, I'm really excited to go ahead and try this. Let's go ice cream and this butter sauce. Looks delicious. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really good. The butter and the orange all together is really good.
Just a little bit of mouth on there, doesn't it?
Definitely, it's delicious. Why don't you go ahead and review the ingredients for us?
Sure. We have some kind of hard apple. We have butter, plenty of butter. Raisins. We have brown sugar, orange peel, cinnamon. We have a cinnamon stick. We have some ice cream, brandy, and Grand Marnier.
Stay with us. We're coming right back with Chef Vic Vegas.
There comes a time in life when you need government information.
And you just don't know which way to turn.
Well, there's a place you can go to put an end to your frustration.
It's a site that everyone should learn.
USA.gov.
Find your social security benefits online.
USA.gov.
Our list of jobs will put you on cloud nine.
USA.gov.
Shop auctions for a used minivan anytime.
USA.gov.
You can apply for a student loan.
USA.gov.
Get energy saving tips for your home.
USA.gov.
So
afraid you might just get carpal tunnel syndrome.
It's government made easy.
For the people, USA.gov. For the people, USA.gov.
Anna, would you introduce our guest?
I'd be happy to, Claude. Today we're very lucky to have Food Network Challenge winner Chef Vic Vegas from Addiction as our guest. Thank you for joining us, Chef.
It's an honor.
I understand we'll be preparing seared halibut, fingerling potatoes, and a prosciutto hash with a butter corn sauce. Are you ready to get started?
I am so ready to get started.
Perfect.
How you doing,
Great,
Big Chef?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, well, basically, this is one of my favorite dishes. Usually around the holiday season, in the Italian culture, we eat a lot of fish. So, you know, moving to the West Coast, I kind of changed it up a little bit and started grabbing flavors from everywhere. And I took the old Italian and gave it my modern day twist. So that's what I'm doing here today.
Perfect.
So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to have my lovely assistant help me here, is we always season the fish before we sear it. I'm going to get the pan nice and hot.
All right,
with
and
the
there's
olive
just a
oil.
little salt and pepper here.
Just a little salt and pepper, a little coarse ground pepper, a little bit of kosher salt, just a little bit on top. Why don't you, please?
Perfect. Now, I'm actually a big fan of pepper, so I'm going to put a little bit more than normal.
Okay,
that
now,
good?
yes, and that's perfect. Actually, you know what? And you could even rub it in a little bit.
Okay.
Perfect. Done. Good to go. Perfection. Now, while she's doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine a couple ingredients. I got a little bit of vegetable broth, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the corn and put it in the broth. Excuse me.
All right, and was that frozen corn, or is it canned corn, or does it really matter?
It's fresh corn. We
Fresh
always try to
corn.
use fresh corn.
All right.
I'd rather use frozen than canned. Canned would be my third choice.
Okay.
And I'm going to get this going back here, and I'm going to let this simmer while we're doing our thing up here.
Perfect. All right, the fish is all seasoned.
Perfectly seasoned. Okay.
Italian heritage.
Yes.
From where?
Mom's side of the family is from Sicily. Dad's side of the family is from Naples.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you got all the way north, you got all the way.
yeah.
That's it. So
Got
who
that
knows?
big mix.
Exactly. So basically, while we're doing this, I'm going to let that simmer for a little bit. The fish, I don't want to sear it yet, so I'm going to start working on the hash right now.
Perfect.
The hash, I kind of like to cook first and have it done because we're searing potatoes and we're cooking, you know, everything together in one shot. And you have prosciutto and you have leeks, and once it's taken off the fire, you kind of want the oil from the prosciutto and the leeks to kind of soak into the potatoes. You
Good.
understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
sure.
Chef, right?
So what exactly is a hash? Because I'm not really sure I've ever had that before.
A hash, well, you've had hash browns,
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like
You've
just
had-
potatoes and...
corned beef hash.
No, never had that.
Basically, my definition is, and I have my own definitions for everything. I
Okay.
have my own
Let's hear
dictionary.
it.
It's something delicious smashed with potatoes.
Okay, see, sounds good, because I
And
love potatoes.
Basically fried, because you know you want that crispy edge, you want the soft potatoes in the middle.
Perfect.
And hash browns is a very good thing. So, anyway, so we're going to start on our hash. A little bit of olive oil. A little more. Turn that down just a little. It's kind of like making a new friend. You don't really know the stove and the oven until you kind of work with it for a little bit. But what we're going to do is first, we're going to take the potatoes.
And then those are the fingerling potatoes.
Now, guys, look, this is a little bit of a situation. Now, it's smoking right now, and sometimes people get their pan really hot, you know, to sear and to smoke. I'm just going to take it off here because it's still going. I'm going to take it off the flame, let it cool for a second.
Perfect. You
Good
want-
mistake cover up, you know what I mean? And it's not about the mistake you make, it's about how you fix it, because a mistake don't necessarily have to end as a mistake.
Exactly. So you don't want the oil too hot, right?
You don't want the oil too hot. Not as hot as it was when I pulled it off,
Okay.
but now we're putting a little bit of cold potatoes in here.
So
And
those
like-
fingerling potatoes, though, I don't think I've ever seen those before either. Is that something you could buy at the grocery store? Or?
Yes, mostly your specialty stores,
Okay.
but I noticed Smith's has been carrying them a lot lately.
Oh, okay. But you could probably do that with regular potatoes as well, right?
You could do it with regular potatoes, but there's something about the fingerling potatoes with this dish. I've tried it with other potatoes, Yukon Golds,
Right.
and you know, I like the Peruvian purple,
Oh.
but the fingerlings is where it's all at when it comes to this dish.
Sounds good.
Excuse me, chef.
And so you just saute those with a little bit of olive oil.
But look,
for-
now, you see what I did when I pulled that pan off earlier? It was smoking. And when people cook in their house, sometimes they do that. It's smoking, you know? It's just pull it off to the side. Don't panic. let it cool a little bit because the ingredients you put in the pan is going to cool it down anyway.
Right.
And now there's no tragedy. We're still good.
All
you know?
right.
Good recovery, huh?
I like it.
No fires.
So about how long would you say you saute those for?
I'm going to saute these for about 5 minutes, but as my grandmother would say, she never put a time limit on it or like an amount in a recipe. It was always boom, and when it's done.
It's done.
When it's done.
So make them golden brown or?
Golden
right.
brown. You could add a little bit of oil because the potatoes are going to absorb the oil.
Okay.
So you can add a little more oil as you go.
Now, have you ever done this with butter?
I like cooking with butter.
I do too, so.
But I'm trying to kind of like not make it as badly good as it should be.
Okay.
You know, and I'm trying to kind of cut a few, you know, bad,
So,
non-healthy
the olive oil
violations.
is a little more healthy. If you want to go for the unhealthy and cholesterol,
Yes.
the butter is good.
Absolutely. And as you can see, they're starting to brown a little bit. I cut them kind of thin.
Okay.
If you would, my assistant, would you turn those over for me?
I'd love to.
Thank you.
Go for it.
I'm going to check on my broth. We're getting there. It's starting to simmer a little bit.
You turn potatoes very well.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Wow, I am impressed.
And this is an untrained chef right here.
I don't know. You're doing pretty good to me.
All right.
Like I said, and normally in a situation when the flame is higher, I'd be flipping them around. But I have a wonderful assistant today, so I don't have to do that. I have her here.
All right.
All right, looking pretty good.
Flipped.
Yeah, and we'll give
Once
them a
you get
couple
back to
seconds to cook on the other side.
Okay. So what
That's
else can we
working.
start with?
You know what? We could start working on the fish now.
Perfect. I have it nicely seasoned now, so.
The fish you have perfectly seasoned. Yes.
So, and this is olive oil in that pan as well for the fish?
Yes, I love olive oil. I actually rub olive oil on my skin.
Well, you're
in the
Italian,
winter.
right? So-
Yeah, and I have a lot in me too. You know, so it's like we have natural olive oil in our skin. You know.
Okay.
Italians do have nice skin. It's very true.
Thank you. Yes, we do. That's from all the olive oil. So the timing is perfect right now. That's about to start boiling. We got the potatoes browning. So by the time we sear the fish, and the fish is halfway seared, we're going to finish off the hash,
Okay.
and then we'll finish it off with the sauce, and
So,
we're good.
what was in the sauce?
What I put in the sauce was vegetable stock,
Okay.
corn, and onions.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah. Okay, these are starting to soften up. I could feel them. And then now, perfect.
Listen
You
for
hear
the
that?
sizzle.
Right. See, we got it down the second time around. Now, I'm only going to really serve one piece of fish, but I figure in case somebody's hungry afterwards, hey, you know, I like to
This
share.
crew is always hungry.
Are they always hungry, Chef?
Always.
Are they?
And so, what else do we have up here? Is this going to be going in the hash?
It's going to be going in the hash and in the sauce, and then there's a little bit of garnish action there.
Okay.
I'll explain that one to you as we go. I'm going to turn the potatoes up a little bit now because they're about 80% cooked. And then we're going to incorporate the other ingredients. Fish is cooking perfectly. Spat hand by. Now here's the deal. I'm going to flip one and you're going to flip the other. We're going to get the flipping down on the fish.
All right.
Okay? Okay, at this point, what I like you to do is I'd like you to add the leeks to that,
Okay.
if you would.
So these are the leeks right here.
Yes.
And this is something that's more like an onion, or?
Well, it looks like a gigantic green onion. If you held it up next to
This one.
this one right, that's okay. Hey, you know what? A
What?
little extra seasoning on the fish never hurts. You're good. You're good. It's all going together anyway, and it all goes in the same place.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? You're good.
So with leeks, I mean, can we serve that on the fish too? Is that okay?
Why not?
All right.
Why not? There are no rules in the kitchen anymore. You know, it's like it's whatever is good. you
Whatever
know?
tastes good. All right.
Whatever tastes good. Would
I
you
like
add
that.
the prosciutto to
Okay.
the hash?
Smells good already. We haven't done nothing.
The leeks just opened it right up, Chef. You know, ba-boom.
Now, is prosciutto something you can just buy at the grocery store as well?
Once again, it depends. There's imported prosciutto and there's domestic. Sometimes when you go to like the regular standard grocery store, they may have it, or they may have Serrano ham that you can use as well.
Okay.
But overall, like places like Whole Foods and Glacier's definitely has it.
Perfect.
And a lot of your local Italian delis.
So I noticed that one's a little bit thicker than the prosciutto I've seen. It's usually really thinly sliced. Is that better for the hashes to have it thickly?
I like it a little thicker because there's a lot of fat on it and it's going to only melt down anyway. And I
Okay.
left it a little bit thicker too, so more fat of the prosciutto flavor would go into the potatoes.
Perfect.
And it wouldn't be much left if it would have been too thin.
Right.
You know,
Yes,
you wrap it around a melon and it's too thin, it just soaks right into the melon. So
I'm with you on that, Chef. Okay, so very nice. Would you like to flip the other one?
I think you better do it.
You want me to do it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't want to dive on in? All right.
Definitely looks good and it smells good from over here.
Yeah, I love halibut. See, we used to do this dish with sea bass, but I don't know if anybody heard, sea bass is an endangered species now.
Oh,
So
wow.
a lot of people are really not into eating it anymore
Yeah,
because
no, I haven't heard that.
we're trying to preserve our wildlife. Okay, I'm going to take this hash and kind of just put it to the side.
And so for the fish, how long would you say about on each side? Maybe.
I'm going to say, usually I like to sear it really hard on each side for about 2 minutes and then finish it in the oven. But
Okay.
in this case, we're doing it right here, a la minute, right in the pan. So we're going to kind of crank it up a little bit so we put more of a sear on the other side. We're going to flip it one more time before we serve it.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do now is bring
Our corn sauce.
our corn sauce over,
All right.
and then we're going to take the burr mixer.
Now what's this? This kind of looks like a scary
This right here
contraption.
is like, it's almost like a chef in today's day and age can't survive without this. Like if
Okay.
I was a Jedi, this would be my lightsaber.
It kind of looks like a lightsaber.
Yes, absolutely.
It's gonna.
Exactly. Okay, really try to turn it on once it's in there.
So
'cause-
does that just mix it, or?
No, it chops it up as it goes.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of chopping the corn in there.
Yes, ma'am. And you kind of slant the pan a little bit so, you know, you can get it all through it. You know, and
Okay.
what you're doing is you're taking all the juice in the corn and bringing it out. And the fish looks like it's doing pretty good. If you would, my assistant, can you hold this for me while I flip
Yes,
that fish
actually.
one more time?
Looks pretty exciting. Now what do I have to press to?
Press that button right there that says...
On low?
You can go high.
Ooh, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go on low. I'm spraying you
straighten it out a
guys.
little bit.
And look, actually, the leeks that she threw in kind of encrusted it. So the dish has changed a little. It's now leek encrusted, but I still think it's a good thing.
Just straighten it up just a little bit more. Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right.
Yeah, as long as it's
There we
called
go.
an immersion blender. In other words, you stick it completely under.
All right.
Yeah, usually when like industrial kitchens, they're about this big, chef.
Yeah,
And
jackhammer size.
forget it. You could rip up
All
a
right,
sidewalk
perfect.
with it.
You know what, Chef Vic? I'm so excited to taste this. Can we go ahead and get this plated?
All right, so what we'll do real quick then is, I'm just gonna run this through the strainer.
Okay. Does that kind of get all the corn particles out?
It does, it gets all the corn particles out and it gives you just the good old juice.
All right.
And then with this, I'd like to press this through a little bit because you wanna get as much of the good stuff out as you can.
Perfect.
Okay? Now, since it's sweet corn, I'm not really big into using roux. I'm trying to be different in today's day and age, so I'm going to use a little bit of powdered sugar because it helps bring out the sweetness in the corn, and it also
Oh, cool.
binds it a little bit because it's kind of like, it would be like a sweet cornstarch. You know,
Perfect.
that's
So kinda
basically
make
what
a
it
little
is.
More gravy.
Yep. Okay, so we're almost done, guys. We're going to reduce this really quick. Bring it down. The fish is done. The hash is 99% done. Now I'm going to throw these in here.
All right.
Just so they bleed out a little bit. Just so a little bit of the pasilla gets in there. Because I notice when you cook these, they get a little sweeter as they go. Okay, so we got that going. We got this going.
It's got great color in there.
You do like the color,
Yeah,
Chef?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Excelente. So we're going to slowly but surely start plating here, and then the last thing that should be going on is the sauce.
I'm really looking forward to eating this. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. And I'm excited to try a little bit of hash for the first time.
Right on. Kind of want to just, and you definitely want to get all this good stuff off the pan here, you know?
Okay. I noticed it looks like a jalapeno over there. Is that something?
Pasilla pepper.
Oh, okay.
Pasilla pepper, yeah. You know what we're going to do? Since this ain't going as fast as I want it to go, I'm going to take this, put it to the side.
Okay.
Since this pan is hot and it's got a little bit of oil left in it, we call this gangster. Sometimes chefs have to switch into this mode just to make it happen, because a lot of people eating in the restaurants don't really realize what the kitchen goes through for the food to get out there. We got about
Perfect.
1 minute left on this, guys, and then
All
we'll be
right.
eating.
So you gotta change it up to get things done a little faster.
Yes, madam.
Whatever works. Oh, this smells delicious, and it looks really good already.
Well, thank you. Take a
You're
little
just
bit.
going to spread it out so you can, a lot more surface to evaporate.
Yeah, chef, for sure.
Perfect. So that's just the rest of the sauce right there.
See, what we did was I got a pan hot to do a quick reduce.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
Okay,
definitely hot right there.
we're almost there. Maybe a little bit of that in there.
And then those green peppers, are those spicy or?
They are spicy at first, but as you cook them, they get sweet.
Okay.
And it's still got a little bit of spice left to it. As you can see, we can tighten this up with,
Add a little more
Powdered
powdered sugar.
as the bubbles get bigger and the liquid goes away, that means it's almost time. So what we're gonna do is
Perfect.
throw a little butter in.
I love your little.
Paula Dean
Just a
level.
little better.
I'm comparing on the Paula Dean level.
All right, looks good.
Okay, guys. And now we go right over this with the corn sauce.
Yes. So we did add a little butter at the end.
Yeah, a little bit. Throw a little bit of that on top.
All right, it looks delicious.
And my friend, last but not least, I need you to do one favor for me.
Just drizzle a little
Take
bit.
this and just drizzle a little bit over
And
the
now
way.
what is this right here?
This right here is a basil-infused green oil. And get a little on the
Looks
plate.
great.
A little
All
on the
right.
side right there. So a little bit hits the plate, and you're good to go.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna try this right now. It looks delicious. All right. Delicious. Oh my God. That is amazing.
Jeff, will you go through the ingredients for us?
Sure. We had halibut, salt and pepper, olive oil. We had fingerling potatoes. We had pasilla peppers, leeks, prosciutto. We had corn, onions, vegetable broth, and lots of butter.
Lots of butter.
Lots
That's
of butter.
Great.
I'd like to thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. It was awesome. The dish was wonderful. And I'd like to thank all of you for joining us.
We'll see you next time on This Ain't No Buffet.